I just kept reading different articles and books out there, and everybody had a different approach, whether it was a diet base or whether it was just in general. I just felt like I never knew what to eat. And so I gravitated towards fast food and eating out because it was convenient. And also because I thought that I didn't have the time nor maybe the skills to cook for myself. And so I was looking for perhaps that person that would spark me by telling me that it would be okay for me to learn how to cook, that it's never too late. And also to give me the confidence that when it was time to pick food to eat, that I knew where I should be making my selections, where I should be gravitating, rather than just being overwhelmed and just deciding not to decide. I had consistently been working out for quite some time, and that I knew was a process. And so when I started to realize that even though I was working out, I still had gained a good 15 pounds more, I knew that exercise alone wasn't going to do it, that I really needed to tackle the most important thing, which was the diet, which what do I eat? And just understanding that, maybe tracking that, getting the accountability for someone to tell me, hey, let's start tracking what you eat so that we can then understand where you're going wrong and then potentially make new informed choices. And so, yeah, I thought the process was going to be a little harder, but it actually ended up being as easy and painless as I ever couldn't imagine going through this. And yeah, once I started to work with you and you started to give me the tools and really empower me with the information and the will that I can do this for myself, I can carve that personal time for myself, then the pounds just started dropping. I didn't really, it wasn't very hard because it's not like I was giving up foods. I never felt like I was on a diet. I always felt like I could eat whatever I want, whenever I want, but learning your rule of that moderation in indulgences and keeping track of how many indulgent items or meals I would have in a week, that was like the life-changing moment for me. But then all of a sudden it was like, oh, I love ice cream. I can still eat it. I just can't eat it every day. And I'm okay with that. The absolute game changer for me was taking a moment and really tuning into myself and figuring out whether or not I was hungry. A lot of the times, I just wasn't hungry. So why bother to stuff my face with food? Or the other alternative was perhaps I was overeating because I wasn't giving myself that time to make sure that what I was eating was probably enough. So all of a sudden I started to notice that I was eating less because I was tuning into, all right, I am just a little hungry, or I'm not hungry. Or I remember having that one moment where I was like famished and I go, oh, I never want to be like this, because then you get desperate and that's when you decide to make bad choices. So keeping in that little zone of neutral, not being hungry and just being slightly hungry, if I can maintain myself all day like that, I can eat anything. I feel like we don't, especially as women, we just don't decide to take care of ourselves or put ourselves forward or first. We are always taking care of others. And I feel like, gosh, we just have to like take that moment and say that enough is enough. It's time to put ourselves first and do something that in the end is going to like reap so many benefits. Like every day I wake up and I have to get dressed and I get so excited because I put on clothes that were tight before and now they're so loose, and that just keeps me motivated that I don't want to go back to being that other person. And all I need to do is always decide to put myself first and make the time